In a country that has been historically racially divided nearly since the beginning of time, have we truly had the conversation on why racial tension still exists so prominently in 2017? I've had the pleasure of sitting down with four individuals, all from different backgrounds, to gather their insights on exactly why America is spinning backwards and taking a step back in time.
What does it mean for me to be black in 2017? Well, for me, I'm proud.
It's scary being black in America in 2017, just from the fact that now we have so much tension, not only politically with our president, but just with cops and so many activists, so many groups now. People are being shot. We had more mass shootings than we've had in the past decade. And so me being a black man, I feel like I'm like a regular deer being with a target pending on my back.
I think everybody should be proud of who they are, but it's also a lot of, it can be kind of scary at times with a lot of injustice and things going on and things going and happening. But all in all, I think it's for me, I'm happy, I'm proud.
What does it mean for me to be interracial in 2017? For me, I get a little bit of racism on both ends, whether black or white. Growing up where I'm from, I've gotten the racism from Caucasians, and I've also gotten it from blacks that are pro-black only relationships, and they don't like the fact that my parents are a white and a black person. So I've experienced racism on both ends.
I'm embarrassed to be white in 2017 because of the actions of other white people over the last couple decades, and then in the last couple years, obviously. It's embarrassing, and I just really despise the fact that a group of people can think they are so great just because, like, the history of America, you look back in time and it's like it's a corrupt group of people and, like, just their mindset on everything, and it's like I've cut so many people out of my life where I find out they have a belief, it's so strong, and their racist thoughts, and people in my own family, and I just cannot be around that. And I say to my husband all the time, as over the last couple of years, as I've learned things and just become more educated on the topic, it's really embarrassing. I believe that racial tensions have grown within the last few years, primarily because
our president, two, the way that people misinterpreted Colin Kaepernick's stand, kneeling down, and three, obviously all the cop slayings of innocent black people that have been slain by cops because of just for no reason, because the cop says I'm a cop, I can do it.
We see the political issues that come into it and people being so vocal about which side, even though the one side might support something else. There's just been a lot happening, even just little things you hear on the news, and it really has everybody thinking, this is like the underlying topic that nobody wants to talk about, when really it's the main topic that we all should be talking about because it's a major problem that we have.
Do I blame the media for racial tension or people? Both. I say both because the media is only going to portray what they want, and everybody has their own perspective, so people are going to talk to other people, and they're going to say, oh, this is this, and so on and so forth. So I blame both for everything.
So do I blame the media? Yeah, 110%. But then, with that being said, everybody's responsible for what they do and say in life. So even though the media is something that kind of gears and helps with the way we think sometimes, but we also have the right to do what's right and or to do what's wrong. So I do put it on both. I actually blame both, but I know the media has a lot to do with it.
As an interracial person, do I feel I get to choose what offends the opposite race? No. Some people are offended that I say the N-word. Some white people don't think I should say it. So I don't really care that I offend or I don't offend. But I know some people are offended because they feel like if you are mixed with white, you shouldn't say the N-word. But it is what it is.
As a white person, I'm not able to decide what offends another race. People be like, oh, well, that's not racist. No, whatever the opposing race feels is racist. That is correct. Like, if it's a stereotype to them and it's offensive to them, that's their group and they decide to choose that. Like, if there was something that was offensive to, like, my family or my ethnicity or anything like that, somebody might not know that, but that's what I find offensive to me. That's not for the other side to decide.
To answer that question, I believe nobody gets to say who gets to offend anybody, honestly. Like, and it's kind of silly to say because if something offended you, if I did it by accident on purpose, most times it's going to be by accident, but if I offended you, I don't know that that offended you. If that offended you, I'm supposed to be man enough and say, yo, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But I'm not going to tell you that you're not offended. So, or how would I know that? So I don't believe anybody has the right to tell anybody that you should be offended or you shouldn't be offended. A person is the way that they are, and if it offended them, it did. If it didn't, then it didn't. So that's how I feel about that.
Where's the starting point in fixing these tensions? Yourself, the person looking into the mirror. Shout out to Michael Jackson. But definitely you have to start with yourself, and you have to be able to change yourself first before you can change anything else about the world. So definitely yourself.
Honestly, me being a religious man, it starts from the Bible and what the Bible says, and you also, I don't know, you probably got to educate yourself a lot and not be persuaded by what's being taught in schools and all of these other curriculums, and finding out what the truth is. It helps, and just actually learning about how another race or how other people may have dealt with things, and being more diverse and just how people do things kind of will help with some of the ignorance that's going on. So
Starting point is simple. One, when you get a leader who will say, you know what, let's bring all races together, and that's the key point. When you can get all races together to have this conversation and understand that we all are fighting for the same thing, that we all think this is a great country, we all want this country to be better, and once we can all get on the same page and learn how to communicate with other races and step outside our own race, then that's the first step to breaking down the race barrier.
How do we fix it? That's kind of a tough question to ask. I mean, I think if we knew the answer, we'd already be doing it. I think a huge step forward in something so simple would just be education. I know in the last couple of years, just me understanding different cultures, different races, just the fact of like me being white and what I might think something would be okay. Maybe my husband who's black and his black family might take it a different way. Just even simple greetings, little things. It's two different cultures, and if we were to go to another country, we would look into it and we would research like, oh, how do I act in this environment? And it's like you might go to your neighbor's house and it might be completely different. I think another thing too is our corrupt criminal justice system and how it favors the white population. It's a fact, it's a statistic that black men are put into jail for all these reasons, and it's like if we fix how corrupt that is, we can maybe move forward in fixing other areas. But with that being such a major issue, tied in with the police brutality, I mean, that's been going on for years and decades. And then another thing too, just maybe the white population realizing that white privilege is a thing, especially with us now living in Hawaii. I've really noticed the flip of everything, and white privilege is real.